none, that's a word called discretion. CPS used it all the time, it's made for that profession. Don't think you'll reunify the number 12%. This is the odds, so the only thing to do is stop them before they get the chance. Follow these rules, don't let them on the house without a warrant. Second, don't say a D word unless it is my lawyer, sir. Don't try to talk your way out, there's nothing to say, but get the hell out. My kid's not for sale and you're not God, so keep her move along. Caseworker, no bonus today. And Mr. Police Officer, please escort her away. And that's all you need.
Sit back and listen closely to what I'm about to say. This is a story about what is taking place today. So this ain't no joke and it could be you, I mean that. You ready? They're a government agency called CPS. That's Child Protective Services if you didn't guess. Their whole line of work is federally funded by a couple of bills passed by Congress.
The first one came around 1935, and that was made to help orphans survive. See, there was already protection for the family now, but for the children, nah, they were on their own. So along came politics to set the problem straight. They voted it passed at SSA 35, Franklin Roosevelt. We applaud, no more kids will ever starve. Fast forward 60 plus years and here come the Clintons. Dirty white trash in the Oval Office set, and the public eyeball was playing with girls of age. But when the lights went down, Epstein was called, and now they became girls afraid. So they got a good idea, let's incentive this taken. So on the cover of Time was a little boy named Gonzalez. No one gripped or screamed, that's when they realized they could take away these kids and no one say a thing. They could flood the doors of all the foster homes by giving caseworkers higher wages and bonuses to compete. They made the perfect storm for trafficking complete. They called it as FAFA, America Safe Family Act. What a joke, all they did was put everyone on the scope. Now here comes CPS tearing families away, a child a minute on a good day, and as they fill up their pockets and stamp out the hope. Those dirty politicians were whisked away on the Valero Express with Diddy and Jay. Now these caseworkers are running around bringing home the bread while families starve. The aid that is taken from 4E isn't quite paced where it's meant to be. Instead of reunifying, to terminate your rights. And it doesn't matter if you're kind or fight. The safety plan is the tool that they use to get you to sign your rights of and give your kids away. But they don't tell you any of this, they wait until another day. Then they show up screaming imminent danger while you're in the kitchen baking a cake with the kids with danger. All they see in the sleeves are rolled up and nothing is leaking. Don't you get it? There is none, that's a word called discretion. CPS used it all the time, it's made for that profession. Don't think you'll reunify the number 12%. This is the odds, so the only thing to do is stop them before they get the chance. Follow these rules, don't let them on the house without a warrant. Second, don't say a D word unless it is my lawyer, sir. Don't try to talk your way out, there's nothing to say, but get the hell out. My kid's not for sale and you're not God, so keep her move along. Caseworker, no bonus today. And Mr. Police Officer, please escort her away. And that's all you need. That's all you need.
As I tell you a story, I'm sorry if it seems a bit boring, but these are stories of fathers whose lives are being destroyed way too early. It all started when I opened my mouth, complained about a stupid mistake. I knew better than to have more to say, I did it anyway. I'm a father and a husband, I'm no longer trusted. They have taken away the things I hold dear, making me realize my biggest fear. crumble. Now there is tears where there was muscles. So now I waste away, missing my daughter as she plays. I am guilty of nothing. When I was a dad, I was something. These people passing judgment have no right to say I'm a bad father, get away. This place no longer for you to stay. I don't wanna see you here, never again will I hear. Hey daddy, come play with me. I need you to make some tea. I shed a tear looking at her smile. I won't see for a while. Now as days pass by, the tears have dried from my eyes. All that's left is the memories of that beautiful smile. So thank you for passing judgment. You people don't know nothing. To that little girl I was something, and you took it all away. So thank you for passing judgment. You people don't know nothing. To that little girl I was something, and you took it all away. Now my baby is grown up. Those people messed things up. I lost life's miracles there behind, with just a picture to remind me. Guilty of nothing. When I was a dad, I was something. These people passing judgment and have no right to say I'm a bad father, get away. This place no longer for you to stay. I don't want to see you here, never again will I hear. Hey daddy, come play with me. I need you to make some tea. I shed a tear looking at her smile. I won't see for a while. Now as days pass by, the tears have dried from my eyes. All that's left is the memories of that beautiful smile. So thank you for passing judgment. You people don't know nothing. To that little girl I was something, and you took it all away. So thank you for passing judgment. You people don't know nothing. To that little girl I was something, and you took it all away. Now my baby is grown up. Those people messed things up. I lost life's miracles there behind, but just a picture to remind me. Oh, now my baby is grown up. Those people mess things up.
Where silence screams, the truth lies buried beneath the seams. CPS is out, hunted on the prowl. With the badge of justice, we'll take the vow. They come with badges, dressed in deceit, taking children, claiming it's all for the streets. We rise up, we won't be ignored. The CPS Punisher leads us toward
All right, everybody. Sorry about this. They changed this platform around on us tonight, and I don't know where anything is. I wasn't expecting that. But welcome to Friday night, CPS Victims, Hunting Justice. Um, boom. Get that there. Get this here. Hey, guys. What's happening in the UK? That's right. We are here. Hopefully, you guys can hear me, right? Yes, we can hear me. I'm trying to just figure this out real quick. I think I put myself here. There we go. Big screen. Perfect. All right, guys, here we go. CPS Victims, Hunting Justice. I'm your host, CPS Punisher. We've got to get rid of this little thing here. Let's see. Hide that. All right. We got that out of the way. Perfect. We're getting better. And we've got our chats right here. Good. Let's put the overlay up. Boom. Just like that. Perfect. All right. We got the chat overlay right here. As you can see, we got the chat right there. We are live. We're on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch even. So that's the places that you can find us. I'm just awaiting I'm just waiting the rest of the guys here. Carrie, how are you? Ashley, how are you? Ashley, you wanted to come in. You wanted to join me. I'm going to send you a link right now. Let's get you in here and see what you had to say. Ashley's got some news for us that she wanted to share. So I will get her in here right now. See what she has to talk about with me. Yesterday's show, I will say again, Herbert, if you guys didn't catch yesterday's show, Herbert did a great job in explaining everything about the pre CPS stuff. If you didn't watch it, it's a great episode to go back and check that out because he definitely did a great job in explaining that stuff. Ashley, here is your link right now. Boom, you got that in Messenger, so you can get on here. Yeah, Herbert did a great job yesterday. It's definitely an episode that if you didn't check out, you should definitely check out because it was just so good and it's so full of information. So we need to definitely make sure that we take a peek at that because, oh, thank you, Carrie. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, definitely need to check out yesterday's episode for sure. So I got this new mouse. I'm sorry, and it switches between my monitors, which is really cool. But I've got to pick it up and I've got to push this button on the bottom, and it makes no sense to me why I would have to pick it up to put a button on. Just kind of bugs me, I guess. So all right, so here we go. We've got Herbert here. Herbert, we got Vinny in the house. Vinny, how we doing, guys?
Okay.
Doing good.
All right. So Herbert, I was just telling everybody that you did such a great job yesterday that they definitely should go back and check that episode out because it was pretty awesome. You did a good job yesterday. I watched it today and it was definitely good, man. Everybody should check that one out. Now, Herbert, I liked the comment so much he went away. What's up, Vinny? How you doing? How you doing, Vinny?
Tired. Worked a double.
Oh, Jesus. Double Vinny. Got a double Vinny here.
Was
All
a
right.
day.
Yeah. It's almost over. It's almost over. You got one more day of work and you got your show tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I got that tomorrow. And then I work the rest of the weekend and up until Tuesday, and then I'm off Wednesday.
Oh, all right. So you just got a few more days to push through. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
Carrie says I scared Herbert away. That's funny. That's funny stuff. Just waiting on Ashley to pop in here. Ashley's got some news that she wants to share with us. So that would be cool. And Carrie, I got your emails about that stuff too. Keep that stuff coming. That's good stuff. I think probably I should put some of that up too for the show. So everybody else can see what's going on too. Yeah, see, isn't that funny? I was just saying that, Carrie. I was just saying I got your emails and stuff, and you were posting it to me. So yes, I did. And as a matter of fact, let me see here. Let me pull up some of the stuff that she sent me. Carrie gets some good stuff, man. I don't know how she gets it, but she does, and she's a great supporter of the show. She's telling everybody else these other shows about us and everything, so that's good. getting the word out. It's tough. It's really tough. It's really tough to be on a podcast. Like it's tough to get this thing going. It's tough to. Oh yeah, this is one for Herbert. That's right. Yes, I did look at this earlier. Um, let's get this thing up. I'm gonna pull this one up. Um, when Herbert's back here with us, is Herbert back yet?
Nope, I don't think so.
Hey, Vinny, was it tough for you to get in here, or was anything different for you guys when you signed in?
Well, when I used the tablet, it gave me like 3 options, and I'm like, why is it giving me
Yeah,
3 options?
yeah, I know. When I turned on the show and I started to do the show stuff, it was doing this weird, I don't know, weird things that I've never seen before, and I'm like, oh man. So hopefully that didn't. Yes, I sure can. Where do I want? Where does Durham Justice want me to send it? Um, you know what I can do is I can try it again. If I put it in the chat right here, if you guys click it, does it work?
It does.
Right.
Yep.
It does?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to put the link right in here so Durham Justice can click on this and get in here with us. He's just going to let me.
So on another note, the Attorney General is trying to play judge and jury right now.
Oh, really? What are
Yeah.
they doing to you, Vinny? What are they doing?
Oh well, he's trying to deny me my rights from seeing my children, and she's about to find out differently from my attorney.
Yeah, that's only a judge can do that, Vinny, and you need to make sure that you can hold them responsible for that stuff, man. This is
I'm
not.
gonna serve her next. She's on my list to serve next.
Oh, good, very good. How does your lawyer feel about that?
He told me today when I talked to him, because I emailed him. He's like, if you feel that you need to serve them under color of law, do it.
And he's fine with doing it for you?
Yep.
All right. Arjuna, there you go. There's the link to get on the show. Hopefully that works when you click that. Let me know if it doesn't. That's the link to actually get in the show and be on it. So, yeah, if Durham wants to get in here with us, come on in. I don't know where Herbert is with Gail.
He might have had a caller, maybe.
Yeah, maybe she got confused in there. But we'll see. It'll be a race to the screen here. See who comes in first.
Hopefully I hear
Yeah,
athlete.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up for you, Vinny. Hold on a minute. Let's see. Name visitation.
Yeah, they have to allow visitation,
Correct.
and they have to allow reunification. And if they don't and try to sandbox it, it's automatic grounds for dismissal.
Okay. So this says important sibling and community community both child and family. It is lessening impact ways. The Department, Child's Parents, Civil Subsidies of the Insurance, Preliminary, Child's Best Interest Court. The court may order visitation to take place after a seized reunification order when a TPR will not be initiated. There's that. Let me see. The person responsible for the child will create situation
Which they're not going to be doing, because they're not going to be holding the jeopardy hearing. So there is not going to be no TPR.
I really hope that you beat the brakes off them, Vinny.
Well, I mean, we got the legislators that want to get involved now, so that's a good sign.
Who's getting involved?
The legislative committee.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, they sent Lynn a bunch of stuff and said that they want to be involved because of what's been going on in our case.
Now that's Paxton. Is he still involved? Paxton. Yeah. Ned Claxton. Is Ned Claxton still involved there?
I don't know who she spoke to, but
Yeah.
she can send it to you so you can read it. I'm gonna send you the information that they sent me, because I want you to see what they had to say.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Yeah, so they've redone all of this since the last time I've had to worry about the visitation stuff here. Because it used, all right, see, here it goes. Seizing or suspending a parent's visits with his or her kids should be carefully thought out prior to implementation. Alternative options must be explored. If at any time there is sufficient evidence that the act of visiting is detrimental to the child, the visit should cease until circumstances changes. Consultation with a caseworker, supervisor, and AAG is essential. A motion for an expedited review requesting the change must be filed with the court prior to the change. Hear that?
Yep.
Must be filed with the court, meaning that the judge is the only person that can tell you that you have no visitations. They can't stop them, they can't slow them down, they can't do a damn thing until the judge orders that your visitations are done. It says in emergency situations where a child would be unsafe, visits can be suspended with proper notice to the parties involved. One must only consider the reaction of an impact on the child, his or her family, but also the court order and opinion of the therapist and guardian ad litem. Child's well being and emotional and physical safety must always be the primary concern. If the visits are being seized or suspended due to a child's statements or reactions after visits, one must assess their carefully and consider. But either way, regardless, the court are the only ones that are allowed to say you don't get to visit anymore. So that's that's
Arjun,
good
you
for
did put the
everybody.
link in here. It's right in the chat box.
Okay, I'll put it out on put the link in here and I can send it to him. Yeah, so June, that link's right there, right above you, right above where you said TikTok. If that doesn't work, I can go ahead and send it in TikTok too. Just let me know. Can you send me the link? That link that you were just reading? Sure can. This is from our office of OCFS, but I'm pretty sure that it goes with. This is pretty standard stuff here. The link I was just reading is right here, guys.
Well, then Lynn tried to pull her records from the actual state, and they denied it under 22 MRS.
There you go, Carrie. That's the link for the what I just read. She tried it. What's the 22 MRS?
It's out in the car. It states that she cannot. They denied her request for her records.
For what reasons?
Don't know. Just said denied. Says it's confidential. She has no right to it.
Okay, Herbert's in here somewhere, and he said Gail's coming back shortly. Gail will be on shortly. There's Herbert. There we go. There's Herbert. There we go. Herbert, did it give you a hard time logging in tonight?
No, I was in, but then something happened and I bounced out. I had to go back in again.
Oh, well, they just rearranged everything on my side anyway, especially. So I didn't know if it was harder coming in from your side.
No, I got kicked off. I had to get back on.
You want me to let Gail out?
Gail should be coming in. Is she there?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
here.
let her in.
Everybody.
Gail, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
We're good. We're good. We're hanging in there, doing the
I'm
best we
glad.
can. I don't know if you watched the show ever, but it would behoove you to watch Herbert's show last night. It was really good. Herbert did a great job in explaining the beforehand stuff to deal with CPS. You know, he took that whole episode and pretty much made it into the things you need to pay attention to and not to, and broke down a couple of situations. It was really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
He did a really good job with that, because that's
You
a lot of
know,
stuff people
the
don't know.
thing I give Herb a lot of credit for, and I hope you all see this for what it's worth, is he wants you all to succeed as parents
Mm-hmm.
in being able to be with your children and to be able to have healthy relationships and not have some of the issues that have been being discussed.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. No, Herb's a good guy.
Yeah.
Ever since I've known him, I've been with. What have we been together for? About a year now. Anyway, isn't it, Herbert?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah. And he didn't have a work. He didn't have a clue really about what CPS was about or what they were doing, and he was willing to just get in because he knew it wasn't right, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And he grabbed it by the neck, and at first he started with the cop stuff, which we have a cop video. I'll save that for Monday though, Herb, when we don't have Gail on. We'll play that. We'll do that stuff on Monday. Um, but yeah, he come right in and started with the police stuff, and then now he's taking it upon himself to get people educated in this
They
the
did.
CPS stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They
So
did misconduct. Yep. They denied her of her records. They said they were confidential.
yeah, how do you feel about that, Gail? When people request their records, I know that like you as the occupational therapist, you must have to get people's records right before you're interviewing them and seeing what they're about. But what about the patients, people, or the clients getting their records? Is there a reason why they won't allow people to have their records?
From a healthcare standpoint, the person is allowed to get it, their own personal records, but a family member can't come in and just request it. The patient would have to give an approval first because that's a HIPAA violation.
Okay,
So, like for instance, if you wanted records directly related to you, you could get that. But let's say you wanted records related to your wife for something, an incident or something, she would actually have to give them approval or clearance, even though you're married, because it's still confidential for her.
okay.
Right. So, and,
So
and, yeah.
no, no, go ahead,
So,
Gail.
No, so that's why they're very careful with that. So when it comes to children, that part I'm not 100% clear on, but I would think parents, depending on the situation, um, if they think the child is in danger, you're not going to get records. But if the case, I would think is maybe something that they're working on giving the child back to the parent, then maybe then
Hmm.
they may be, yeah. But honestly, we would need to ask a social worker about that to get real accurate
so,
information. Hmm.
so, Vinny, what records is not being released for your daughter?
No, for my wife, she requested her own records.
Okay, your wife requested your wife's records, her own records.
Yep.
Okay, and these are medical records. Am I correct?
No, these are CPS records.
Okay,
All
so
right.
these are CPS records, and
Now,
it's
do you
for
have a lawyer involved with this?
I do. She currently does not.
Okay.
okay. According to official misconduct, she says I can help. Do you see that, Vinny?
Yeah.
So you might want to contact her. But I don't quite understand why she can't get her
Yeah.
own CPS records.
Hmm.
Yeah, they. I know,
What
and
are
I
they
think
telling?
that's
What are
actually
they telling her,
on that. I think that
Vinny?
they
What are they telling her?
Yep.
whether or not to release them to you. I don't think they can just decide that it's okay to not do that. Hey, Gail, I was thinking in kind of in line with what Herbert's talk of yesterday was, and where you are at the mandated reporting level, what are signs or what are things or signs that people that come to you, no matter how it is they come to you, that would make you feel that things were unsafe or that there was a reason for you to mandate to report on them about about what was going on.
Oh,
What are some things that would turn your eye and you're like, whoa, I need to tell somebody about this.
that's a great question. Um, well, okay. So if I have a very, very friendly child and all of a sudden they become very isolated, very
Open record
introverted.
records access laws per your state.
Hold up, Benny. Hold up. All right,
Yeah.
Gail, go ahead. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Oh no, no worries. Yeah, if they were a very friendly, outgoing child, all of a sudden they become very isolated, very introverted, I would have concerns, and that I wouldn't report to CPS, but I would report it to the teacher in that case. Um, Someone that you touch and they get totally and completely freaked out. Let's say I come in and normally I can hug this child, and all of a sudden I hug them and they lose it. They tell me something's wrong. Um, um, if a child is, I'm not trying to sound gross, but this is a reality. If a child is constantly rubbing their private area or their buttocks, um, my concern, because it could be a rash. They may not be cleaning themselves well, and rashes happen. But if they're demonstrating a lot of pain and discomfort, I would say look into it. I wouldn't say necessarily right away CPS, but that would be a concern. And I did have a case like that, and that child was being molested. So thank that one was reported. Um, and of course the obvious, all of a sudden coming in and has, extensive bruising many times under the clothes, not in an obvious way, but if you're seeing a lot of bruising, because I, as an occupational therapist, I work with getting people to their highest level of function. The name can be misleading. People think I help get people jobs or get them into the workforce, but that's not what an OT does. And that could be something we work on, but that's not what we do. But we do get people back to their highest level of function. So whether it's children, adults, or our elderly population. So with children, the focus for OTs is to get them to be able to function in school effectively so that they can learn, in essence. So if whether they have autism versus a learning disability versus cerebral palsy, or emotional disturbances, our role is to get them to function in the school so that they can learn effectively and move on from a grade level to the next. So, and to give the teacher the tools to help, because a teacher won't know what to do if a child is having, especially with autistic children who have impulse behaviors. So, so if I'm working with a kid that's nonverbal, right,
Mm-hmm.
and but they were fine, and then all of a sudden I start coming into the classroom, and they just look genuinely scared, and I would ask the teacher, has something gone on? Is there something going on in the class, or if they've noticed it? So I always go to the teacher first, always. And if the teacher's noticing a change, like every- they don't say, don't report anything right away. We observe. And then if we're observing over a period of time that things are getting worse, and usually what the teacher will do is contact the parent before CPS gets involved. And the teacher will say to the parent, we're having some concerns, da 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 da. Parent responds, that may very well determine. Like a teacher may call a parent and the parent responds and says, mind your effing business, right?
Whoa,
Now
yeah.
the teacher's going to be, concerned, like, oh, okay, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
Another parent may respond and say, you know what? I have noticed some changes as well. I'm going to take my child to the doctor and let's see what's going on. Right? Because it could be something even as much as, they may be having some internal pain going on, but they don't know how to, express that, especially if they're
Right.
right. So that's the first way to approach it. And those are some of the signs of what is going on. And then if we, if I ask a child, is something wrong, a verbal child, and um, and they just look very scared and they kind of think that's a concern for me. So most of the time, if nothing's going on, the child will just say, I'll give you an example. I had one kid I was working with, and his behavior was increasingly going down. I couldn't figure out what was going on. His parents let him stay up all night, coming to school out of it, not because anybody was
Mhm.
abusing him, just because he didn't have the boundaries. The parent wasn't having him go to bed. And so he's going to bed when he feels like it and coming to school really out of it, like really out of it.
Mhm.
Right. So now CPS isn't going to be called for that. What we did, I called the parent and the teacher called the parent and said, could you please, limit that and just make sure he goes to bed at a decent time because he's not absorbing information. He's not doing well in therapy with me because he's tired. He was just simply out of it. right. And the parent, did.
What gets a kid to you first in the schools?
Oh, well, if the kid has been born with a physical disability, automatically get
Okay.
occupation, right? And if it includes language or swallowing issues, they automatically get speech. And if that physical deficit, depending on how severe it is, then they may or may not get physical. So those children automatically get it. Autistic children automatically get us. We automatically get referrals for them as well. Cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, any of those diagnoses, sickle cell, all of those children will automatically get our services. Now, emotional disturbances. The child, if a child has an emotional disturbance, then they're usually going to be labeled as well with a learning disability because, those kind of go, the child is brilliant, but if emotionally they're distraught, it's going to be hard for them to absorb information. So they may make a referral to us with that to help them with their coping mechanisms, different methods of teaching them how to cope.
Mhm.
If they're very quick to jump out of their seat and want to fight another kid, or they're cursing at the teacher all the time, or banging their head against the wall. I mean, I've had it all.
Mhm.
Um, Also, if a child, let me see, I've talked about that. I've talked about that. Um, handwriting. So sometimes they get a referral for OT simply for handwriting skills. They're in the sixth grade. You should be able to read a child's handwriting by sixth grade, and it's illegible.
Mhm.
Now I've had kids where they simply weren't writing well because they didn't care. It was
Right.
just that simple. The writing wasn't important to them, and they didn't see why it was important to the world. And I had to try to inspire them to write clearer because when they take a test and they're writing down answers, how does the teacher grade that, right? And they can't read what the child has written. It looks like
Mhm.
another language. But yeah, so sometimes it's just something as simple as that as well. But let's say a child is in a classroom, right? And has 20 other kids. And this is what I mean about emotional,
Mhm.
and another kid in the back drops a book and that kid literally jumps out of their seat, their nervous system like goes on overload. That child would be referred to therapy.
Okay.
And it may not have anything to do with being abused by a parent. They may have some sort of sensory overload going on.
Right.
We all take in this world with what we hear, see, smell, right?
Mhm.
And nervous system just on overload. It could be diet. It could be something as simple as nutrition, lack of it. Some kids eat McDonald's every day, and that's not a good nutritional approach
Right.
to right. But that can really throw a nervous system off as well.
Woo.
Yeah. So those are some of the reasons occupational therapy um, are referred to in the school system. Um,
But it seems to me like you don't like. It seems like there's in some situations that there's a lot of people that are jumping the gun with the mandated reporting, but then it seems like you are pretty like level headed and you take very much precaution in doing these things. You don't just jump up and say go to CPS. You you take your time and you evaluate and you say like let's see what else is going on with this kid. Where some people it seems like they're just instantly oh we better call CPS.
well, I mean, I can't speak for others. I
Right.
just with me, pediatrics, um, it consists of so much, for a child. Neurologically, their brains are still developing. Physically, they're still developing. Their hormones, when a child gets into middle school, their hormones are on overdrive. So, behavior changes from that many times. So, I've been trained. I've been trained to observe and know the differences um, as to whether a child's behavior is simply because they're being a kid or because there's potentially a concern or some harm
Mm-hmm.
going on. It could, a new kid goes to a new school, behavior changes, right? Because they get
Right.
scared. That in and of itself can scare a kid, especially if it's in the middle of a school year. Let's say the parents move and all of a sudden in seventh grade, they're being thrown into a new school. That could freak a kid out because, these
Right.
kids have already established friendships and they're the new kid on the block. So,
Right.
yeah. So, and also to sum up what you're saying is these are people's lives. It's not something to play with. It's something to take seriously. So, excuse me. So based on that, I'm going to be very careful with how I approach things. But believe me, if I think for 1 second that a kid is genuinely being abused, like I said, my first person I go to is the teacher, and I discuss it with them. And then there's always a school counselor, and the school counselor will be made aware as well. And the school counselor sometimes will say, "Oh, we already know there may be some issues going on, but we're trying to keep the family together right now, et cetera, et cetera." It could be something as simple as a parent lost a job, right? And the kids are now the parents and the kids are living in a shelter. That's traumatizing for a kid. So the kids' behavior may have changed, or they're having difficulty because their home life is so unstable. Not because of abuse, things happen. No. You-
Right.
Right, right, right. And usually the school counselors are very much trying to be a resource and help those parents out. They usually won't cause because all schools have a counselor. They're supposed to anyway. They usually won't call CPS unless there's obvious signs of abuse, and they've usually spoken to the child, and with, to come to terms with whether they really think some sort of abuse is going on. Yeah. So, but that's all therapists. That's not a Gail thing. All of us are supposed to, do our due diligence to protect the child and make sure that they're, safe and a school, because let's take it a step further. We're talking specifically about CPS here, but also, kids can get bullied in a school,
Right.
right? And things have happened in schools that are harmful to children. So, that's reportable as well. Oh,
Right.
right, right.
Well, we know what we've heard from Josie on Josie Mondays is we heard that the schools in Canada are actually turning to, if the kids get in trouble so many times now, or if there's something that's overbearing, that's overrunning these kids' lives, that instantly, instead of the school dealing with it, CPS is now, or there's DBG, or I believe something like that. But they're instantly turning to them now, opposed to dealing with it within the school. And how long do you hear anything like that coming down the pike here for the United States, that CPS is
No,
trying to infiltrate a little harder into the schools, or what level or
no,
degree of infiltration they
no.
are in?
I've never heard that. I see that happening here in the United States. The foster care system is overwhelmed to begin with. They don't have enough,
Herbert, feedback.
and they really are. That's one thing. I'm trying to get you guys a CPS person on, and I've spoken to someone, and she is working on it. She wants to get you someone. She used to do it, the person I'm speaking to,
Yep,
but she doesn't do that anymore. So she wanted to get you somebody that's doing it right now. That's what they do.
in the flesh.
So
Right,
that's correct. So she's working on it, and hopefully we can get that in the next couple of weeks.
right,
But the thing with the folks that I've heard spoken to, even the gentleman I told you about it, he's in the midst of getting married. Otherwise, he would get on. And I told them they could keep themselves anonymous, etc. So
right.
that part's not an issue. But everybody is telling me that they try to keep those children in the home. The last resort is pulling them out. And that is what they're actually trained to do, educationally trained, as well as, continuing ed courses that all of us have to take: physical, occupational therapists, speech therapists, social workers. All of us have to take continuing ed courses. And if pediatrics your specialty, those are courses that we have to take. When do you do reportables is what they're called. When don't you do a reportable? How do you deal with it before you do a reportable, etc.? So, and they're trained in it. You up the amps for them. CPS workers are trained, in a whole nother level from us therapists, and they're trained to really genuinely try to keep the family unit together, because studies have shown, and this is where I do. You said it last week, where it's difficult, hard on a child, even in a painful home situation, to be taken out of the home. So, they really do try to keep those children in the home. And I've told you, I know that there, like with any profession, there are some that, you know, that are not great in the profession and shouldn't be in the profession. But for the most part, you have a lot of good people that really want to try to help these families rather heal and do
Right.
better. Right. And that is their goal. In fact, I had looked up something, and I wanted to share this if it's okay. Statistically, I saw here that about children in foster care and other statistics related to children taken out of the home. But this is purely for the United States. It says in 2022, the number of children in foster care in the United States decreased for the fourth year in a row, to 368,500. This is a decrease of almost 6% from 2021, when there were 390,200 in foster care. The number of children exiting foster care also decreased in 2022 to 201,000 compared to 214,000 in 2021. In 2021, 203,000 children, 100,000 children, 770 children 18 were under 18 entered foster care, with children ages 1 through 5 making up the largest share at 29%. Black and American Indian and Alaskan Native children continue to be overrepresented in foster care. And then they go on further about runaways, throwaways, child removal. In 2022, West Virginia removed more children than any other state, even when child poverty rates are considered. So it looks like the numbers are going down. Yeah.
That's
But
good.
that,
I mean,
that
that's good.
definitely needs to improve. Yeah.
I mean,
So
you
here
figure,
they have that West Virginia, though, has the highest CPS removal rate.
right,
Um,
for the children, right, for the children
yeah.
being in care.
Yeah, for children being, it has here year after year, West Virginia is the child removal capital of America. In
Oh,
2022,
wow.
the recent year for which comparative data is available, West Virginia took away proportionately more children than any other state, even when rates of child poverty are factored in. So, yeah,
West Virginia, huh? That's. I was looking that up too. I never. Wow.
yeah,
Holy smokes! Wow.
yeah. Look,
Isn't it crazy that these
up,
smaller areas, these smaller
correct.
places are getting more coverage from CPA, like Maine being the leading one in the nation for the abuse level. West Virginia being the most with the kids in care.
Yeah,
It's crazy, and these are supposed to be small town, family oriented communities. You wouldn't
correct.
think
Sure,
that
But
you
but
would see this stuff.
I think the poverty levels in West Virginia may be kind of high as well.
Right.
And poverty does many times correlate, um, with abuse, just for the simple fact that
Right.
if a parent feels they cannot feed their child or feed themselves and everything that goes with that.
Right.
um,
we,
Hey, Gail, we have on here
family,
with us. We have on
yeah.
here with us Durham Justice. He's from
So
they're from the UK. We've connected with these guys this week, and it's pretty cool to talk to them and find out that CPS here is they don't have CPS over there. It's called something different. Durham Justice can tell us that. But what's pretty nifty is to find out that it's very similar to what they're doing here, and maybe their input can help you see too. Because I know that what you're seeing is over here. It's like it's not glamorized, but you're not seeing the way that we're trying to portray what CPS is.
court
Uh, maybe
challenge.
maybe Durham Justice can give us a little taste of how the UK is and what they see over there.
Hi guys.
Yep, we just heard you.
Good. Well, obviously we haven't got CPS here. We've got Children's Services, and we understand that obviously Children's Services will go to your house to check on your children. And they never ever turn up without a reason. They always have a reason, right? But it's the bullshit that follows it. Okay, because yes, we know the schools can put a referral in. Your neighbours can put a referral in if they hear noise, blah, blah, blah. But the social workers will then continue, not all of them, will go on to lie, to take your children. It's a horrible thing to say that people in all walks of life do that, but it happens, and it's happening on a massive scale, and this is global. Obviously, you guys are having the same problems as we are. But yeah, it's. I'm sorry to swear, but it's the bullshit that follows that referral. It's just disgusting. It is. I mean, we've just received a letter there. I can't really talk much about it because obviously I'll get reprimanded and I could get.
Oh yeah, hold on. You hold on 1 second. So over there, Vinny, if you were doing what you do here, you get thrown in jail. Like, I'm pretty much correct about that, right, Durham? Like, you guys can't even speak about your cases in public, right?
We are silenced by the courts.
They're not even allowed to talk about it over there.
No.
So
Unless your case is finished a good few years, and then.
So that means you guys don't have freedom of speech then.
No, but we are now saying that we have got what is it? Not freedom of speech, freedom of expression is what we're using now.
Hey Gail, what do you think? Gail, what do you think about that when we out? Because you know what, I listened to you talk, and I'm almost like, man, people just aren't that bad, and I know that there's a use for them. But he's absolutely right. It's not you that's getting them into that point. It's once they become after the CPS units, and I know you know this stuff both ways. You've been in the system, and then you've worked with the system. But how do you feel when you hear people saying that there's lies and lies and lies and lies? Because I know for a fact that my case was plagiarized. I can say that till the cows come home. And I know that was a fact. I know that Vinny's case, there's a lot of lies going on, and that's a fact. Like, how does that make you feel when you hear that? When you're like, I know that they're trying to keep people in the home, and then you hear, our friend from the UK there saying this. Like, how does that make you feel when you hear that stuff, and knowing the system the way that you know it?
I mean, it's disturbing to me, and it's a challenge for me to hear that because, I've just always viewed CPS workers as, for the most part, like I said, there's a couple of bad apples like in any profession, but for the most part, they've been good people trying first and foremost to protect the child and to keep the family unit together. So it's disturbing to me to think that any child would get pulled out without every effort being made to keep the family together first. And then if you find that child is in danger, and some things are immediate danger. So let me just clarify that. If that child's in any immediate danger, yes, they need to go right away. Right. But, I do think that there are definitely situations where children should be able to function within the household, and referral systems, like I said, if it's something as simple as food, what do you call those, food pantries where people go to get food, right, if they're struggling in that way, and that right.
Because there's plenty of money to be given out for that. Durham, I know you can't talk a lot about it, but what are some, for instances, lies that you're talking about?
Well,
like, what type of lies would they make? Or if you can't talk about specifically, what, like, a roundabout way?
Okay, for instance, they'll say you're an alcoholic when you're not. And they'll put that into documents, hand it to the courts. Then you've got evidence that proves it wrong, but they won't be allowed into the court. And when we're in court, we get to give a little bit of evidence, but mostly all the way through the process, you're sitting there like a dummy. you're not allowed to speak. It goes through your barristers or your solicitors, you know, or
Yep.
your lawyers, like you say in America.
Yep.
But when you ask your solicitor, lawyer, whatever, to put something into court, they'll turn around to you and they'll say that's irrelevant to this. It's not. It's not fucking irrelevant at all, because at the end of the day, you're trying to fight to keep your kids with you. You don't. Why would you have representation that's going to turn around to you and say that's not relevant when it is? He's working for me.
Yep.
He's going on the instructions of my solicitor and me. But when they get into the court, they're rubbing shoulders with everybody, the barristers in the courts, right?
Yep.
And then when the cases are finished, they turn around when you're trying to appeal for it. The same barrister who's supposed to have represented you says, forget it, you've got no chance. So it's like, soon as that social worker has taken your children, and we could tell straight away we were in the shit, right?
Yep.
We knew, well, I could have took Darren, honestly, I could have took my right arm off, my left leg off, and it wouldn't have been enough for these people.
Yep. No, I know exactly. I'm right there. My lawyer.
So can I ask a question though? If for instance, alcohol, wouldn't they do a urine test or something?
I had hair strand tests done twice on me. I asked for the hair strand tests to be done, and they both come back negative. But apparently, I'm an alcoholic, and I don't drink alcohol. I'm not saying all social workers in the UK are bad, because they're not. I've worked with good ones, but boy, there's some bloody horrible ones, man.
But this is something that there's no space for a bad caseworker, because this is a very, very serious accusation that's going to determine the rest of someone's life. There's no room for error here. This is a zero error. This is a zero error job.
They're going into
you can't be like, oh, they had a bad day. That doesn't work in this situation. This needs to be 100% accurate and accountable, because this is changing people's lives. This is why when you have a death sentence, they have so many appeals, because they want to make sure that they got it right. Why aren't they doing that when in this case is with these children and with us as parents? They're not. And these, they just get by. They're flying by the seat of their pants. They're saying that they're overworked, which they probably are, but still, that doesn't matter. This is a zero accountability job. A zero error job, period. Because this is our lives that are at risk. This has ruined my life. This has ruined my child's life, I'm sure. This has ruined Benny's life. This has ruined, everybody that's involved. It's ruined and changed your life from where you were going. And they can't be allowed to make mistakes. And I don't care if they're human or not. They cannot make mistakes.
Let me read you guys something here. This is their motion. The State of Maine Department of Health and Human Services, for both my daughters, for Trinity and Arasta, the DHS opposition to parents' motion to dismiss. Now comes the Maine Department of Human Services, DHS, of the department through Aaron Koff, Maine Assistant Attorney General, and hereby respectfully responds to the defendant's motion to dismiss filed with the court on July 24th, 2024. In response thereto, counsel states as follows: failure to timely conduct jeopardy hearing. The department denies the allegations and in support thereof states as follows: the department absolutely agrees that it is in legislator intent that the issue of jeopardy to be addressed within 120 days. However, according to 40354A, does not provide the dismissal of a jeopardy order, a remedy for exceeding the 120 days prior in the Cameron W. 2010 Maine 101 4 and 1.5A.3D 668. Father Mr. Torrey makes this request of the court with unclean hands, as Mr. Torrey's own action contributed to the exaggeration delay in the court's ability to hold a jeopardy hearing. Mr. Torrey discharged his first two court-appointed attorneys and is now in his third attorney. That doesn't make any sense to me, because they told me, my attorney told me the other day in front of my criminal attorney, that they cannot have just cause for firing an attorney because that attorney still represents you until they find a new one.
Right. Yeah, there's no delay. There's no delay.
Right. So they're lying on a court document.
Yep. Now that's
And this
perjury.
is coming straight from the AAG.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's
Then they go on to say falsity in a PPO. The department denies the allegation and is supported thereof state as followed. A jeopardy hearing is scheduled for September 10th, 2024. Questions regarding the veracity and fact alleged in the petition can be addressed by the court at trial. There's not going to be a trial
yeah,
because
should
they
be
waived the jeopardy hearing.
Yep. I mean, Jim, Vinny, you guys need to push that. You guys definitely do. And yeah, that's the. I see you guys all writing all of this. You know, the crystal ball thing, the stuff in the future, the intent of harm, all of that stuff is ridiculous as well. But I guess this is where this will go back to you, Gail. With how do you view that when CPS uses that as an excuse to take the kids of the intent to harm? Because you are a mandated reporter, so in a sense, you kind of help in that sense of like, oh, things are going wrong at the family. You don't come out with a smoking gun and say, take the kids. But how do you feel when they use not any actual incident that took place, but as a fact of saying, well, it could happen? How do you feel about that stuff, Gail?
I mean, I don't understand how they could do that from a legal standpoint. I'm hearing it and I'm saying, how legally this is when I do wish we had a lawyer on here.
Right. I
Right.
know it. But the thing is that this is they call it I think Carrie just said it too, the crystal ball theory or something like that. I don't know what you guys call it over in the UK.
Crystal ball effect.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
It's a terrible thing that they do. It's just like imminent danger. Imminent danger should be a situation that fire trucks are coming, the ambulances, all hell's going to break loose. Not it could be imminent danger, and that's a lot of what they're doing here in the United States too. Is the potential for something to happen. Well, like I always say, they could take my kid from me, walk out into the street to get in the CPS person's car, and the school bus comes and hits them and kills them. Well, we didn't see that coming either, did we? But that happened. So, you know, like that they shouldn't be able to use any of that stuff because, you know, things do happen. Life happens to people, and they need to. This is why I'm convinced of we need to abolish the whole system and start from scratch. Terms need to be set in stone, what they mean, what evidence, you know, like things need to be evidence based. They can't be using hearsay. They can't be using preponderance amount of evidence. They need to be using factual things. You know, like Vinny's case here. He's reading it, you know, like these guys are looking. That team of lawyers just looked for hours to try to find something that took place in the state of Maine that's so non-important that it's in the back of point 2 in a law book, but they had plenty of money to find it so that they can come out and beat them with this stupid bullcrap. When in fact, the rules are this stuff's supposed to have already been done just because, you know what, people quit their lawyers all the time. And it doesn't change the time period of a court case, but they're saying because you quit your lawyers that it does. That's a lie. You're absolutely right, Vinny. That's a freaking lie. And you're still represented until you get appointed another attorney. So if anything, that's back on your attorney. But regardless, the case still should have legs the way that it's supposed to have them.
Yep.
So, I have a question for Durham. Durham, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a solicitor working with you on that situation where they're accusing you of being an alcoholic?
Yeah.
And what is your solicitor saying?
We'll deal with it in court, and it never gets done.
He never gets through?
Yeah, I'm telling you. You can put the evidence down in front of them. This is why we're all saying they're all we've got a saying in England, right? They piss in the same pot. They
Yeah.
all piss in the same pot,
Yep.
and they do.
So they all piss in the same pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's like here, they'll high five and bump elbows. You know, like when they're done, the GALs are supposed to be neutral, and then you see them out in the hallway high fiving each other and hee-hawing. I mean, that's what took place at our TPR when they got done. With my wife on the stand, they came out and they're all high fiving each other.
Well,
I mean, what is that?
Darren, there's another woman. She goes by Matthews Candace. She
Yeah.
found she's on TikTok. She found out that CPS, the courts, the guardian ad litem's, the attorney generals are all sleeping with each other, and she dug deep and she got some really incriminating evidence against all these people.
Yeah, they're all on the same team. They all go to Christmas parties together. They all go. I mean, they're all right. They're all in the same building, for God's sakes. You know, like you can't say that they're neutral when they're all in the same areas. It just doesn't. It doesn't work that way. It's the thing is that we're seeing a vision of children, because here's the other thing that none of us talk about on the show a lot, but what we're really seeing here is legal kidnapping happening worldwide. We're seeing them being able to throw cheap excuses up to be able to get our kids and to be able to access funds that they wouldn't be able to access otherwise. They're defrauding our systems by these lies and what they're saying. And I think that it's gotten so big that they don't have a choice now but to take children from us. But then Gail came out with stats that says that those numbers are down in the past year. So, I mean, on that side, you're kind of like, wow, how do you argue that? There's still such a huge number of children that are being taken. And what they don't talk about either is, where's the rest of the kids? Like, the number of kids that get taken every year don't go down. So where are they? They sit there packing them up, but you don't hear about 3 million kids getting out at the same time. You know, like, even though those numbers would be like that. So, you know, you have 800,000 kids that were taken in, or not that many, but 500,000 in a year. 200,000 are like, go, where are those other 300,000? And then if you only have 200,000 the next year, go, well, you still had, that's 600,000. Then you have 900,000 because they're only letting go 200,000 a year. Where are all of these kids? Where have they gone?
Okay. Well, first question I have for Durham is, Durham, have you seen a lot of American kids roaming around in the UK?
American kids in the UK roaming around? No.
That's because I told you they're in Africa.
Okay, so they're not in the UK, and I don't see little kids from the United Kingdom roaming around here in the United States.
Exactly.
So where are they? Where are they taking them?
Exactly. And I was looking on my mobile here because I had some stats. Hundreds of thousands of kids are missing from Brazil, America, Great Britain. It's global. Where does 100,000 children disappear to? Where do they go?
Yeah, that's my question.
Where do they go?
I mean, this is some deep stuff here, but you got to be prepared for your answers. Number one, most of them are dead. Most of them are sent to sex trades, things like that.
Okay. So Darren, they're sent to sex trades. Where? We know they're not going to the United Kingdom. They're probably not going to England or France.
A lot of them were just over there where we're fighting.
Right there, Terry just said it.
Yeah, the island, right? Epstein Island.
The
Places
island.
like
What island? What island?
Little St. John.
St. John's Island?
Little St. John. That was Epstein's island.
You're talking about off of near St. Croix and St. Thomas? That there's an island called St. John. Is that the island she's talking about?
Where Epstein's island was called Little St. John. That's what they called it.
That's a small island. It'll be obvious that there's little kids running around there.
Well, yeah, but they had tunnels all through there. They have tunnels that connect everything. They never came above ground.
Tunnels. And they have all these kids in the tunnels on this little island.
I wish Laird was around.
From Ireland, from Scotland, from the United Kingdom, from America, and they take them over to that little island.
You'd be surprised what kind of tunnels the U.S. has that they hide.
We've got
hundreds of years, man, worth of people digging tunnels. Hitler's tunnels all throughout Europe and everything. There are kids everywhere that they take, and they do this to. Gail, do you know anything about any of this? Like where the kids go? Do you have an
Yeah,
answer?
I don't. I do know that there's a substantial problem, and it's worldwide. It's not a United States or United Kingdom thing, but child trafficking is pretty major, and it's very organized and sophisticated. That part I'm aware of, but I don't know about the islands and
Yeah, but these children that's going missing have gone through the care system.
Right, 84%. They say 84% of the kids that they rescue. This was the United Nations number. 84% of the United States kids that get rescued have come through CPS. That's what the United Nations put out as a number. So 84% of the American kids that they rescue out of these trades have funneled through Child Protective Services. And that's because essentially these kids, and this is my opinion, these kids are dead to everybody. Once you cut ties with their family and you terminate them, they're dead. Who do they belong to now? No one cares for them. No one cares for them like their parents did. You get assigned to a caseworker that's overworked. They're not paying attention to where little Johnny is and little Edna and little this and little that. These kids are dead to people, so it makes it easy for them just to vanish. They're just a statistic now. Once you remove them away from who cares and loves them, they are nothing more than a statistics. You have all these people that take foster children in just for an income. They don't care. I've watched interviews where they were like, we watched that one with that school in New York, Herbert, where the guy was like, the people were like, they love that foster home because they didn't give them rules or anything. They're just gone. As long as they make it back when the people come for inspections and stuff, they're running the streets, doing whatever they want. They can be whoever they want to be. You have no idea where these people are. It's crazy because once you remove their family from them, they are no longer cared for and loved the way that they would have been with a traditional family.
Can I say something, Darren?
Yeah, yes,
Well,
please do.
I am anxious once Gail gets in contact with her people. I am anxious to hear a live CPS worker explain and address all of our concerns.
I agree, because that's who we need to hear from at this point.
But
Yes.
they're also not going to give you the full-on truth either. They're going to cut back on what they're saying.
See now, Vinny, that's where if they told you Herbert was coming on, the law enforcement officer, you would say, well, Herbert's not going to tell you the real truth. That's what you're doing. Give the person the benefit of the doubt, Vinny. They may come on and tell us the real deal. Just the same way as Gail is talking to us now.
I mean, they could, but some of them, they have to protect their best interest of CPS, and they're not gonna give you the full on information. I'm sorry.
I protect the best interests of law enforcement, and I tell you the full truth about what goes on. And I tell you there are good cops, there are bad cops. And I tell you that. I don't put no questions.
Especially because the person is probably going to get on anonymous, and there's not going to be their name. It's not going to be, you're not going to see them, and based on that leaves room for more honesty.
Yes.
What you think right wouldn't be.
Yes.
True, but
we're not going to know their real name, or we're not going to even know where they work.
Yeah.
They don't even have to say what state they work in.
Correct.
They're just talking to us, representing information that we need to know about CPS that we all don't know. We're all surmising. And Vinny, your surmising of CPS is good, is accurate for what you know. See, that's what it is. It's just based on what you know and what you've experienced. And what you've experienced may be correct, or it may have been erroneous. In other words, the people you work with were very subjective to you. And once we get a CPS worker on, they could tell us that, hey, Vinny, the guy you were working with was a real jerk because he should have did this or he should have done that and blah, blah, blah. You see?
Well, see, these people have been after me since I was a kid. So
okay. So right there, you're saying to me, you have history. There's some history with you with the people. That you, in other words, that CPS worker working with you may act towards you one way, but may act towards another family a different way.
Mhm.
There's a
Durham, what were you
personal
gonna say there, bud?
history. Vinny, did you follow what I'm saying? I'm saying to you that you just indicated to me there's history.
Yep.
Okay, so it makes a big difference. If I arrested a person 3 times, oh my God, it's Rodney again. Here we go. Hey, Rodney, you know what the drill is. And, I'm going to talk to him that way because I've arrested this guy 3 times before.
But
And
you
now
know
I'm
what?
going to arrest him
That-
again. I'm
but-
not going to be
but-
a happy camper arresting Rodney again.
But you got to understand, a lot of kids fall through the cracks, and it's not just due to their issues, it's due to the way they were brought up. Okay, I didn't have a home life as a child. I lived on the streets. Okay, I grew up on the streets. I was homeless for years. I fend for myself all the time.
So you needed protecting, Vinny?
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're saying. You needed protecting. There's children out there that do actually need protecting. It's like there isn't a fine balance. I think what it is where they've made wrong decisions. They've left children with parents, and the parents have killed them. Okay, so then they'll come to say us, and we're not, and we're okay, but they find it hard to make a decision because the decision they have to make is: do we leave that child there, and does that child get killed, or do we take this child away and we know it's safe? But you see, they're put into a job where they should be able to recognize danger and not danger. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry about me British, like, but But these people are paid to recognize danger and to when to recognize when a kid is not in danger.
That's a valid point because in the past, historically, if a case comes up and it hits the news nationally because a child wasn't taken out of a home and was killed, you'll find that their caseworkers are probably going to now be over diligent and concerned about leaving a kid now in a home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very valid point.
So this thing here says this: across the globe, traffickers buy and sell children, exploiting them for sex and forced labor, moving them across international borders. Child victims are trafficked into the United States from Africa, Asia, Central and South America, Eastern Europe. In the United States, children are subjected to human trafficking in many different sectors. Examples include prostitution on the streets, private residence, clubs, hotels, spa, massage parlor, online commercials, sexual exploitation, exotic dancing, stripping, agricultural, factory or meatpacking work, construction, domestic labor in a home, restaurant, bar work, illegal drug trade, door-to-door sales, street peddling, begging, or hair, nail, and beauty salons, family acquaintances, pimps, employers, smugglers, strangers, trafficked children. So they probably are here right in front of your face, but you don't know who they are. They don't know who they are. Like this is the thing. Once they lose their family, who's looking for them?
Because they've
And
got
they
no
brainwash
identity.
them. They really do. They brainwash the children.
Because their identity's been taken away from them. They don't know who they are.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. They don't know. There's no grandparents to care for them anymore. There's no aunts and uncles. There's no nothing. They're gone.
Yeah.
So who's going to go looking for these people? Nobody. Now, if that's the best interest of a child, then someone's screwed in the head, because that certainly is not the best interest of a child.
No.
Yeah, it's called the government's. Because
That's
they're the ones
exactly what they're
letting
doing
people get
when they
away with it.
terminate the parental rights of a child. That's exactly, in majority of the cases, that's what they're doing to these kids. They're putting them into full harm's way of becoming a statistic, a number in the system.
Exactly. And no one cares.
Right. Because there's nobody to care for them.
I'll tell you what, Darren, we've got something here now. They're taking that many children now in the UK, right? I've got something in front of me. It's saying, and this one it's saying, do you know someone who is thinking of fostering? If you tell them about, I can't mention the company's name, blah blah. If they foster with us, we'll send you a little thank you, £1,000 finder's reward.
Wow.
A finder's reward, okay? So basically, they're taking too many children. They've got nowhere to place them, so now they're putting up a finder's reward. That's like somebody saying to me, "You refer a friend for a broadband package, and we'll give you 50 quid." You know what I mean?
Jesus Almighty.
So I mean, you're telling me it's not about money? Nah, no one's ever going to convince me it's not about money.
Right.
It's definitely about
That's
the
it.
money.
And over here, they're getting bonuses. You know, we just had to go through all of that.
Yeah,
You know, because people don't want to believe that that's what they're doing, but that's what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying that the CPS worker are getting bonuses for taking the kids away from the parents?
Yeah, we went with incentives, bonuses, call it what you will, but we proved it.
Well, I really want to hear from a CPS worker on that.
Well, we went through a whole episode on this before about, remember, that's
I
why
know we went through that episode, and I'm not going to dispute it because I can't, but I can see where the agency may get more money, but the individual workers, Gail, come in on this for me. They don't make any money.
Any money for these kids. It's not supposed to be about money. It's supposed to be about the same kids.
No,
So
that's
why
the
is there a dollar amount?
No,
on
I'm
any
saying that the
Where-
CPS worker themselves, they carry 2 or 3 jobs just to make a living.
Yeah, they don't make good salaries. They don't make bonuses. They're usually burned out.
That lady in Maine makes $100,000 a year in bonuses, and she's a bad caseworker, and she still freaking is working there. We have our news article right on it. We put the news articles up here about bonuses that they actually get, that they're admitting in the newspapers that they're getting bonuses paid to the social workers in the state of Maine, anyway. So you can't tell me that Maine's not leading the country and all this other stuff.
I can't argue that with you, Darren, for the state of Maine, but I'm just saying the overall thought of it. If it was such, everybody would be, I'll go to Maine to work. If I can make extra money like Vinny, you wouldn't have to work where you're working. You could be a CPS worker and make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, maybe he has morals, Herbert.
I would never stoop to their level. Sorry.
Well, you see, again, I remember I'm still learning. You guys understand that. And Duran, I want you to understand I'm a law enforcement, so I'm learning about CPS, and I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together to make 4 here. Because
listen,
I would think that everybody would be applying. I would think.
Listen, in 2023, the Maine Department of Health and Human Services distributed bonuses to direct support workers and workers in home and community-based services. The average bonus amount was $3,429, but varied by agency and the type of people the workers supported.
Is it possible?
Workers who supported people with mental health and substance abuse challenges received an average of $4,145 in bonuses, while workers who supported people with aging and physical disabilities got much less.
Okay, you use the word supported. It almost sounds like foster or somebody going to the house helping somebody with the children. That's what that sounds like.
Let me reread this to you. Distributed bonuses to direct support workers in home and community-based services. That's what they call them. They don't call them caseworkers. They call them support workers. They changed the name so you think like you think. The average bonus amount was $3,429 because you're not a foster worker. You're a foster home, right? You're not a foster worker. So you can't use that.
But you're referring to CPS workers.
Yes.
Yes.
Maine DHS provides an additional $4 million to fund the bonus program for their workers.
And they did it again this year, and it was much higher.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. But you know what's interesting here? I was reading This is a social worker in Canada, and they are asking. I asked, were they getting bonuses for taking children out of the home? And a social worker in Canada responded, this was 4 years ago. The answer to your question is yes and no. They don't make a profit, but they do receive government funding on a ridiculously complex pay per file system. While there have been individual cases where the pay per file system was abused by executives, so it's not the social workers, but the ones at the top. On the whole, the child protection system operates under constraint and at a deficit. Foster parents are paid per diem for each child in their care, but this represents a cost against budget for CPS. Staff wages are typically the greatest expense, and there are too few staff to do a proper job. A safe caseload is in the range of 17 to 24 cases. At one point, I was carrying 37, and I have heard of others carrying up to 50. It's not possible to do a good job under those circumstances, and nobody's getting rich at CPS. So this is how this particular social worker responded.
Right, but there's not a bad car in the parking lot, I can tell you that. You want to see how well people's employees are doing, go look at the parking lot.
Well, I mean, and then you figure in, okay, per this now this is actual facts, and I did find this out. I fact checked it and I checked it again. Foster parents in Maine, okay, to foster a kid from their parents is making $707 a week.
Yep.
Do that
That's the
average
foster.
math on
That's the
707.
that's the foster parents.
That's
Yep.
the foster parents.
Okay.
But listen to me, Herbert. The actual parents, when they had the kids, did not get that kind of help.
I understand. Vinny, I understand perfectly what you're saying, and you're referring to the foster parents. And if this was all about foster parents, I wouldn't have any say in this. I wouldn't have any skin in this discussion, because if you said, "Oh, they're increasing the amount of money for foster parents to 3,000, 4,000 to 5,000 for foster parents," I could kind of go along with that. I can understand that. But for the actual workers, nah.
They have
They're not making no money.
They really do.
Herbert, that's like you saying that they've never given bonuses to cops for doing certain things. You tell me
No,
no
they
cops
don't
ever
give
got a
bonuses.
bonus.
They don't give bonuses to cops for certain things. What they do is they give you get promotions.
All of that's made up. No cops ever received a dirty bonus in their life. They've never.
Whoa,
had
wait. Now we're talking different. No. There's dirty.
They're obviously not going to say, "Here, we're taking kids. Take this bonus money." That's never
Okay,
gonna
no. Wait. We're saying above the table money versus under the table money. Are you talking about above the table or under the table?
Well, they're doing it right in your face with the above the table. They got you tricked thinking the worker's word is a difference. It's all the same thing, man. It's all the same thing. They change the word. You don't realize what it is or what it's for. Okay, that's fine. We get $4 million. Fine.
Again, Darren, again, I would go along with all of this if I could find a CPS worker that's really doing well. I mean, really, they're doing well.
$100,000 here in Maine, so they're doing just fine.
Okay, I can't dispute Maine, because obviously there's a lot of corruption going on there, and there's corruption going on in UK, and there's corruption going on around the United States. But until we can get a CPS worker that can tell us the real deal of what's going on, I can't comment anymore. And by the way, Vinny, what you're saying about the foster parents, yeah, I can see that. I can see where they'll give them more money because the kid might be disabled or autistic or something and needs special help, special care, and they have to give them.
I'm gonna put it out there, okay? Does that kid look like she needs that kind of money? I can't make out what the condition of the brain of that child is by looking at her face. So I'm just saying to you. My daughter is one of the smartest kids for being 4 years old.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that, Vinny, but I'm just saying that if a foster parent said that we have to take care of this kid and it costs this much money, I can see where they could rope a dope the system to get more money to foster people to get more money out of the system. I can see that happening.
And they do it
But
all
the
the time and get
system
away with it.
paying the employees more money. Oh man, I don't know. I'm hard pressed on that one because
I don't know. I mean,
they can't get work. But here's the thing, Vinny, Darren, they can't get workers. When I made a phone call, they wanted to hire me right away. I started inquiring and asking questions, and they said, "Well, you have degrees, you have this and that." I said, "Yeah," and they said, "Well, why don't you come down and fill an application? We're looking for workers. They need workers." I mean, Gail, chime in on this. I mean, is it really a high-level paying job to be a caseworker? And is it a burnout job also, or not?
We lost Gail. She's on there.
Oh, we
They
lost
stop-
Gail. Okay. Okay.
If they start taking
so-
X amounts
Tobias-
of children, they wouldn't have big caseloads with them.
Okay. Listen, during in the UK, do you know of any social workers, and do they make a lot of money there? Are they pretty well off?
They're pretty well off. 40 grand a year, which isn't not astronomical, but the people above them are making a lot more money. See, the social workers are the pawns, right? They really are. They are the pawns. But
You're saying on the chessboard they're the pawns, right?
Yeah, but they're like the foot soldiers, okay? But
Yeah.
but they're the ones who are bullshitting everybody.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Doesn't matter how much money they're getting.
Yeah,
They've got no empathy, no soul for parents.
Right.
If
Right.
they're earning X amounts of money, they do not tell the truth.
right. You have no dispute there with me.
Yeah.
But you said they're the foot soldiers. They're the lowest level, and they lie and they cheat, they steal, whatever. That I wouldn't even argue with. I wouldn't argue with that.
Yeah.
But I just have an issue with this all this money they make. But I don't have an issue with the foster parents maybe making a lot of money.
Okay. We had a children's home, right? And the person running the children's home had 6 children in it. The local authority, that's the department, like the children's services, were paying £18,000 a week for the one child. Then another child from a different area, 20 grand a week. And then the next child, 14 grand. And then the next one, and so on, 20 grand. This man who was running this house was earning 70 grand a week. Okay? He was driving around in BMWs, big ass cars, right? And these children in this house were starving, never had a blanket to sleep under, sorry. Right? He's making all this money, but the local authority knew about it, but they still keep sending children there. All these people are making money and all these children are suffering. They were going down, no food. They were asking the staff there, can we have some food? No, fuck off, go away. Right? So you got children starving, and then you've got the person driving around in a big fucking BMW. 70 grand a week. Do the math over a year.
Yep. I totally believe that.
That's disgusting.
No dispute about that. Durham, you have no dispute for me about that with the foster parents. Same thing with you, Vinny. No dispute about with the foster parents.
Yeah, but this is
They make a lot of money.
Children's services are saying it's child fucking protection. How's that child protection? What, starving
That's
children, not giving them
No.
blankets, you know?
No.
It's not child protection, it's fucking money, fucking money.
Yes. It's all the money, man.
These are our next generation, man. This is supposed to be our next generation. What they're going to do, and when they've been in the care system, social worker comes along. Yo, you've been in the care system. You're damaged. We'll take your children now. It's like a fucking roller coaster you can't get off. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. These children are being psychologically damaged. Sorry,
No, I
Darren.
understand.
I'm really
I
sorry
understand.
to family, but
You're fine. You're fine. I understand from how do you pronounce the name? Arjuna? Arjuna? She stated that social services have targets to meet. When targets are met, government do give bonuses to these interdepartment agencies. You see what I'm saying, Darren? The bonuses in the UK, when they meet their targets, are given to the interdepartmental agencies in the UK. Now, in Maine, maybe they give them directly to the workers. I can't dispute that.
They do.
But okay, but in the UK, they're giving it to the agencies when they meet the target.
Do you know what outrage they would be if they came out and said that they were literally giving bonuses to people in the United States for taking kids, Herbert?
they're not going
Use your head.
I don't think that will be a secret because I think
No,
it would really be
everybody
out
knows.
there.
Just like cops get incentivized to pull people over. We know.
If the
Everybody
cops
knows.
were
It's not
getting
secret.
If the cops were getting extra money in their paycheck for the many years I worked, I would know about it. I would be getting bonuses in my paycheck. I get the normal bonuses and upgrades that I would normally get for work done, meaning, for my time spent, for not taking time off. It's just across the board bonuses and upgrades. I mean, I was unionized. I belong to a union, so we all make money.
People's getting back
What you're saying is, you're saying that everybody in the world that's always said the cops get me pulled over because they get steak knives or they get a bonus or all of these things are just made up. It's never ever happened.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that we all belong, like cops, we all belong to unions, right? So we get across the board, increases.
Or speeding tickets or
But-
anything like that. That's never
but
happened to anybody.
If Officer Joe Bolton wrote more tickets than everybody else, and we started at the same time making a certain salary, but Joe Bolton, he makes more money because he writes more tickets, then that indicates they're giving him more money for tickets. I've never seen that happen. Joe
So
Bolton's making money off of going to court.
The whole thing is just a farce.
Joe Bolton is making money because he goes to court more often than anybody else because he writes more tickets and he's pulled into court. And he could be in court for 10 minutes. He gets 4 hours overtime.
So regardless, he's getting paid for writing more tickets.
He's getting paid because he's being called into court and he's getting paid time and a half.
So
But
he
the
knows that if he
state,
writes- so he knows if he writes more tickets, he's going to get more money.
if he writes more tickets, his chances are he'll be pulled into court to defend the ticket.
If he writes more
And
tickets,
he has to
he's gonna
get
make more
paid.
money.
He has to get paid overtime. So yes,
If he
he's going to be making more money.
Okay, if you take more kids, you're going to get more money.
Well, that's what the part I don't get with the kids.
Just explained it.
Well, yeah, but the CPS personnel, they have to do something extra to do extra time, so they could get more. Like in other words, they have to work overtime.
Other kids.
Okay, CPS worker goes out 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I expect them to get time and a half, maybe. That's more money. Yes, I can see that. If they're working all odd hours and they're working the days off and everything else, yes, Darren, I can see them making more money.
I know when I take a job, I used to work for ServPro, for instance. You could work as much as you wanted. And when I say this, I mean this. They would work you. I had paychecks for 1 week, 104 hours, 106 hours. But then I learned that 60 hours, I make the same amount that I did at 104 hours. So I slowed down on that. Point is, I would get up at a moment's crack of the ass because I was making great money and I could work as much as I want. It incentivized me to keep working. It's the same
Yes.
thing. Right?
Yes,
Same
yes,
thing.
that's right.
It's
That's right.
like
But
the
what
same
I'm
thing.
hearing from you, Darren, is that a CPS worker works a 9 to 5, and because they get a lot of kids or whatever, they're going to automatically get a bonus and more money working a 9 to 5.
I haven't said that at all. I've just read to you what the papers say and the Department of Human Services said. I've never said that myself at all. Secondly,
Yeah, well, I'm not getting a good interpretation of that paper. I'm trying to figure this out. But I will agree if CPS worker works a 9 to 5 and then they get off and then they call back in to work from 5 to 1 and 1 to 2, yeah, they're going to make more money. But they worked for it. They worked for that money. They worked extra time. It's like Vinny working at his restaurant. If Vinny working at his restaurant and he's got to do more time, work more time, he's going to get a lot of money, right, Vinny?
I don't get a lot of money.
You don't get more money for working the extra time?
No.
Vinny, you don't get paid for working more time than you...
Here's what we're going to do on Monday. Because we're way over, guys. We're going to have this conversation on Monday. So do our research over the weekend, and we're going to come for this one loaded for bear for Monday, because we're going to put it into this. Whether we have a caseworker or not, let's find our information, let's find our facts, let's either put this to bed or have a party over it. And that's what I think we should do.
Okay, that sounds like a plan.
All right. So Gail, oh great, Jewel, great. So you're on too. Durham, we do the last words. Do you want to get the last words in, bud?
Yeah, social services in the UK is a problem. Parents and us are the solution. Bring our kids home. And thank you, Darren, Herbert, Vinny, Gail. Thank you very much for letting me on.
Yes, absolutely. We'll be back. All right, Gail, you want to get your last words in?
He's not here.
Gail left?
Yep.
Gail's gone.
Gonna get a
All right,
bonus.
onward to you, Vinny.
My last words are this.
It's a constant problem.
Protect your children. Keep CPS out of your lives. Do not let these attorney generals dictate your case. And above all, hate your caseworker as much as you hate the administration court.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. Hey, Vinny.
Yeah,
Plug your ear for your little kid. Vinny, you know what you get when you cross the penis with a potato?
I don't know.
A dictator.
Yep.
Herbert, last words?
If you are concerned about CPS talking to your children at school, or it's a constant problem due to family or custody disputes, you are welcome to tell your child that they should not talk to CPS without you present. CPS cannot force a child to talk, and the children are welcome to leave at any time. If your child is old enough and there is a cause, let them know they are never required to talk to anyone without you present.
That's good stuff right there, Herbert. That is good stuff. And I'm going to say, if you guys have a chance, make sure you go to yesterday's episode and check that out, because there's a lot of good information that was in yesterday's episode. And if you get information over the weekend that will help us in this fight for whether CPS caseworkers get bonuses or not for Monday's show, I would really appreciate it. But I am the CPS Punisher, and we're out of here. Have a good weekend, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division is what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks, paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just the mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem, stealing our kids. It's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.